Welcome to this course on Your Body Can Heal Itself. You are taking this huge step in the right direction. Disclaimer: if you have a serious mental or physical condition, please consult a doctor as this course is for informational and guidance purposes. Our goal is to give you the formula on how to heal your physical, chronic illness with the power of your mind, aka by eliminating stress. I want you to go from suffering to healing, freedom, and health. Let me introduce myself and tell you about my story. Hi, I'm Celine Diol, and I'm a self-healing babe. I'm so happy you took this vital step to join me in this self-healing journey. I'm so proud of you. If you have heard my podcast episodes, read my ebook on mind over illness, and or watched my YouTube video on how I cured myself, you may already know my story of healing. I went through immense amount of challenges and suffering the first half of my life. There was trauma, and I had learned to survive using anger, laughter, pushing injustice down. My parents were in an unhealthy marriage, and that really affected me to the core, and I took all the misery upon myself. Submerged in emotions, digging my own grave, spiraling downwards deep to the point where I developed a disease due to all the stress. Stress for me was genetic as well as learned in my survival mode environment where I had to keep myself emotionally safe. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and my doctor said it was lifelong. It was hard for me to come to terms with it. I did as the doctor said for a little while, doing tests, eating prescribed tablets every day, but it wasn't getting better. They wanted me to come back and do more tests. And mind you, I was already stressed out before, and now I was more stressed due to this diagnosis and how to cope with it. I felt helpless and lost. You know how it feels when you get diagnosed with an illness, that initial feeling? Well, I thought at least it's not cancer and I'm not dying, but this wasn't any better. It was constant agony. The symptoms were horrible, and I felt devastated. I had developed emotional problems such as anxiety and had a couple panic attacks due to, life in general. Anyhow, long story short, I decided I wasn't going to listen to a doctor who was simply doing everything by the book as she was trained to. All she could do was diagnose me and keep giving me medicines. She was helping me maintain the disease, not cure it. I had this epiphany that I could cure myself naturally. I refused to believe, hear, or read otherwise. I tried so many things, changing up diets, routines, looked into alternate ways of healing like homeopathy, allopathy, acupuncture, whatnot. But none of it quite worked. So many trials and errors until one day I discovered it was my mind, my thoughts that needed to change, my emotions that needed to be released, my trauma that needed to be addressed. I read many books and listened to many videos and speeches of how real life people cured themselves of cancers, ulcers, from their deathbeds. I knew there had to be a way. I disciplined myself for a deep healing journey for 2 to 3 years. I also started therapy and worked on resolving my emotional problems. I picked up yoga to relax my body. I did many things at once that would help me heal and undo my disease. Guess what? It worked. I am disease-free and living in pure freedom and bliss like I used to pray for. It wasn't easy at all, but it's doable and possible for anyone who dedicates to healing themselves. I'm going to teach you how to heal illness with your subconscious mind, just the way I did. Let's look at some patient files. Here are words from real-life people who suffered and then cured themselves of their symptoms. There was one person who constantly suffered through nauseousness, and her belly would hurt and she would sweat a lot. But she was able to cure herself and relieve her of all the symptoms for good. There is another person who said, and these are direct quotes from real-life people. I have not put down any names because I would like to keep them anonymous, and these have all come up in my research of how people have cured themselves naturally. So, this quote is from a person who said, I visualized the cancer melting away as I filled my breast, chest area with light. A few weeks into the chemo, my oncologist examined me and said, it almost feels like the tumor is melting away. And I said, that's my visualization exactly. Another person said, I cured my frozen shoulder, although doctors had told me only an operation would help. Resources like these, such as this course that you have taken on, will only help those who believe they can do self-healing. Next person said, I'm now off my antidepressants and have not taken one pill for anything since December 2018, as I now have learned to trick my mind into believing I'm taking the pills. The placebo effect really does work, but you have to believe in it 100%. Because even if there is 1% doubting it won't work, then it won't. The brain loves to listen to negativity. Next person said, most chronic pain is neuroplastic rather than structural, which is to say it's learned through fear conditioning and can be unlearned. Learning to handle our physical sensations with lightness and humor as opposed to handling them with fear and alarm seems to be key to dampening down the danger signal that leads to pain. With neuroplastic pain, however, the brain is generating pain signals without any apparent physical damage, issue at the root of most cases of chronic pain. This person stresses that the pain itself is still real. It is just that it is generated in the brain and not necessarily tied to any bodily injury. Process to retrain your brain by using somatic tracking and mindfulness to become more aware of the sensations and gradually increasing awareness while trying to decrease fear. Sense of calm, self-compassion, and focusing on positive sensations is what helps the most in healing. So you can clearly see from all these examples how powerful our brains are. This person said, we do not expect our mind and body to self-heal cancer, or Parkinson's, or heart disease, sometimes instantaneously. You would probably go to a different doctor if she told you to go home and heal your body with your mind. Most of us do not believe such a feat is likely, if even possible. So all these quotes are from people who didn't even know that their minds could heal their body. But once they discovered it, they were able to get rid of their symptoms completely, and there are numerous stories and examples. This person said, as a chronic pain patient for over 24 years, I searched high and low for relief from unrelenting fibromyalgia. I consulted doctors of all kinds, underwent all sorts of expensive medical procedures, followed strict diets and protocols, and tried almost every pill on the market. Some helped temporarily, but none gave me lasting relief. And then I discovered mind-body medicine, and this is exactly what you are doing by taking this course. There was one person, well, there were many people, but this was one specific person who said she cured herself of stage 4 lung cancer. And there was another person who said that they Their brain cancer completely disappeared. And you don't even have to take my word for it. You can do your own research and find out numerous real life stories that there's a lot of truth to this, that any disease can be cured by using the power of your mind. More of this word will spread that we have the capacity to reverse our ailments. You listening right now have the capacity to reverse your ailments. A lot of stress can cause a lot of diseases. There was one person, and she admitted that a lot of stress caused multiple sclerosis, and by removing that stress, her multiple sclerosis, MS, cleared up completely. Inflammations are the root cause of most illnesses. Inflammations in the mind lead to inflammations in the body. Traumas bring down immunity when not processed and released. For example, when you are traumatized by a family member, you can become that role for yourself to release that trauma. You probably have heard of the term reparenting. You can reparent yourself to give yourself that love and kindness that you were probably expecting from your mother or brother or your father or anyone in your life. It's important to identify emotional pain. And there are multiple ways of identifying emotional pain. You can also use things like journaling, meditation, talk therapy, anything that works for you. Everything is connected. Mind works in relation to body and the energy you feed it. Placebo studies have confirmed that we can heal with our minds. It's important to work deep inside, find root causes of disease, and then negotiate that with the cells in your body, and the results will come. It's the medicine of the future. There was one person who said that because of a relationship breakup, he or she suffered from chronic pain and tiredness for 8 whole years. This person's root cause was not being able to process a relationship breakup, which was causing this person this disease called chronic pain and tiredness, and she suffered that for 8 years. One person overcame CFS or fibromyalgia. He was unable to accept his diagnosis. He said he chose to unaccept it. He renewed his mind, changed his life. So this just tells you that our mind is incredible. It's capable of incredible things. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, is at your center. Keep faith at your center, and you'll be able to attain your own healing. One person suffered from digestive issues for years. And this person realized that these issues are connected to the trauma from this person's past. Once this person healed their trauma, their disease naturally went away. So I want you to go on this self-healing journey. Research for yourself. Go on a self-healing adventure. Go on a research adventure and see what your body and your mind is capable of. I have condensed all this information that I have found over the years in this course so that it's easily available to you at one place. But please feel free to go out there and do your own research, because I want you to realize the power of your minds and the medicine of the future. One person said, I suffered from PTSD, anxiety, and depression for a number of years. None of the doctors helped me. They just gave me medication instead of helping me through my trauma. How horrible is that, right? And this is what doctors do. This is what I experienced during my diagnosis as well, and I'm sure you can relate to this. There were multiple people who said things like, I was trying to get through hell I live daily. There was light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm not going to be like this forever. I want to become the woman I used to be. And this person said that in becoming her again, she was able to become a new and better person who's transformed and evolved. And these were exact same feelings and words that I felt in my journey. And I'm sure you can relate. EFT is emotion-focused therapy. And EFT is used to eliminate all the mental stuff that we drag along behind us. So you can use EFT with a therapist or with yourself. EFT is when you bring yourself to the present moment. You become aware of the bodily sensations that you're feeling in your body, and you're able to track down how it's feeling, where it's feeling, and why you're feeling that way. What's the emotion or thought that's leading you to feel that way? And it's all in the present moment. But first, it's important to eliminate your resistance to change before working on your issues, because you need to know if you are even open to changing. That's like saying that you can be self-aware, which is the first step of change model, but you also have to be ready to take action to bring about a change as the second step for anything to improve. You have to have the self-realization to internally feel that drive to take action to heal. Many don't know, but even just knowing is not enough. You have to do the deep work, and only you can do that for yourself. So I want you to ask yourself, are you open to changing? Are you open to doing this deep work that you know only you can do for yourself? I can't do it for you. No one else can do it for you. Doctors can't do it for you. This is solely on you, and this is your work to heal yourself, because who else is going to be there for you other than you? The initial stress isn't bad, but the continual attachment to stress is bad. And this was a real eye-opener for me. I found patients continue to say things like, I was determined to get back to the girl I'm meant to be. And this was very emotional and moving realization. And when, even though this is a quote from someone else, I had said this to myself before starting my self-healing journey. And it was honestly a very tearful experience. And as you're suffering, you feel like you haven't been yourself for so long. It feels like you're incapable. There's a person who said, I feel like an incapable man who can't enjoy life at all. And I felt the exact same way when I was suffering. And I used to go down on my knees, tears rolling down my face, begging to God to heal me and to end my suffering, because I truly could not enjoy my life. I couldn't feel wholesome and full due to my suffering and sickness. Our cell memories contain a component of triggered pain and emotions. I learned so much on my self-healing journey, just like many others here who did the same. You will too. It's truly remarkable. And remember, the very first victim of stress is your nervous system, which leads to disease formation in the body. Now I'm able to tune into my senses and enjoy pleasure and life, and I know this is exactly what you want. You want to get back to living your life to the fullest. And for that, you have to go within. Challenge it's impossible. We have heard and seen that possible is right in that word. It's all about perspective and changing your mindset to change your life. Listen, I know your pain, what you might be going through right now, because I have been in your shoes. You can heal yourself. You have that power. Let's talk about things in this course that we don't talk about enough, like reclaiming your power. Be intentional with your self-love. Be vulnerable. Pay attention to your mental health and all your relationships. Nurture yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Reparent yourself. I want to encourage you to introspect, look within, find that self-love, and delve into personal growth. Now, some diseases may happen due to a sedentary lifestyle. Not eating well, not exercising enough, eating junk food, or using substances like recreational drugs or alcohol. If that's the case for you, then you already know what needs to change. But even as you do the mental work to heal, you should still be mindful of eating healthy and avoiding the foods that may trigger your symptoms as you're healing. As your virtual coach, the interventions we will use will consist of a mix of therapeutic techniques and lifestyle suggestions. I want you to realize how much power your mind has while understanding the external limitations you have to overcome. This is a self-paced course, which you'll have access to forever. You can study it in however time you'd like, but I do suggest you go through it without big time gaps so you can actually retain and utilize the information being presented for your health's betterment. You can come back to modules and repeat or reference to them as you please during and after the completion of this course. There are 3 rules to this journey that you have to incorporate yourself: discipline, consistency, and love. Discipline and consistency to keep going in your healing, deep work, and routines. And love to be gentle, kind, and compassionate to yourself in where you are right now, right here. You are in the right time and the right place to be learning these things. Heal your mind and you can heal your life. Your body can heal itself. Only you hold the truth to who you are. It's time to remember who the fuck you are. So, let's get into it. You're a self-healer.